Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Something that many of us complain about, I'm sure, is having a lack of barakah in our lives. We hear this a lot. I don't have barakah in my wealth. I don't have barakah in my health. I don't have barakah in my knowledge. I don't have barakah in my time. I may sleep for 10 hours, I wake up, it's as if I didn't even sleep at all. I study for hours on end, nothing sinks in. Or I take the kids to school, by the time I come home, it's time to pick them up again. Or I do an 8-hour shift, I felt it wasn't productive in the slightest. What's going on? And I'm sure we'd all agree, we'd all want an increase in barakah in our lives. Before I give you the ingredients for the recipe of barakah, let's define what does the word barakah mean. This word is usually translated as what, my brothers? Help me out. Barakah, blessings, yes, common translation. However, there's a problem with this because the word ni'mah in Arabic is also translated as blessings. So what is the difference between the two? Barakah has many meanings. Among them, yes, it is a blessing, but in particular, it's a blessing that increases. When Allah Azza wa Jal gives you barakah in that blessing, it increases. So the word barakah, number one, means ziyada, an increase in something. And that's why you have the word birka. What's a birka? A pool, yes? And notice the word barakah and birka, they share the exact same letters in Arabic. Remember this as a rule. When words share letters, they share meanings. Now how does a pool differ from a puddle? Of course, a lot more water in the pool. So it's an abundance, an excess amount of water as opposed to a small puddle. So that's the first meaning we said, an increase. So Allah gives you an increase in that blessing. That's number one. Second meaning of the word barakah is that the word barakah can be used as a verb in Arabic, and it's used in particular to refer to the camel. The Arab would say, Barakat al-Ibil, the camel knelt down. Now, first and foremost, camels, are they humble beasts or are they very arrogant and hard to deal with? Anyone dealt with a camel here before? I'm not talking about people who you may call camels, no. But a camel, very arrogant, very hard beast to deal with. In fact, if you get close to a camel, it might even spit on you. So when they say Barakat al-Ibil, when the camel knelt down, because it's so arrogant, no one's getting it up, Habibi, no one. You can punch it, smack it, hit it, not that I'm condoning that of course, but it won't get up for anyone. Just like many of us, I'm sure when we're asleep, no one's getting us up. So that was used, the word barakah was used for the camel that knelt down for a long time, and that's the second meaning of barakah, that when Allah gives you barakah in a particular blessing, it stays with you for an extended period of time. You don't earn, for example, $1,000 and it goes the next day. So those are the two meanings of the word barakah among many, and I'm going to split this talk into 3 parts of 2. 2. And that was the first 2, the 2 meanings of barakah. What did we say? It means increase in a blessing and it stays with you for a long time. Ahsantum. So now that we know what barakah means, the question on all of our minds, how do I gain this barakah? We don't have to look too far. In the Quran, Surah Al-A'raf, ayah 96 to be precise, Allah Azza wa Jal gives us this recipe for barakah. Allah says, وَلَوْ أَنَّ أَهْلَ الْقُرَىٰ آمَنُوا وَاتَّقَوْا لَفَتَحْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ بَرَكَاتٍ مِّنَ السَّمَاءِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Roughly translated, if the people of the towns had these 2 qualities, Iman and Taqwa, Allah then said, لَفَتَحْنَا, not just fatahna, surely 100% لَفَتَحْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ, we would have sent upon them barakat, plural, barakat from the heavens and the earth. And if we look further into this amazing ayah, Allah didn't just say, لَفَتَحْنَا إِلَيْهِمْ, we would have opened up to them or given to them. It's alayhim. What's the difference? Alayhim, on top of, gives the understanding and the impression of abundance. You know, when a person wins a lotto, what do? They basically throw the money on top. It just comes from above, right? And when you want to basically drench someone with water, what do? The best way is to do it from above, yeah? You basically smother them from on top. So Allah is saying He would have opened upon them to give the understanding of a lot of barakah. لَفَتَحْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ بَرَكَاتٍ. What's the difference between barakah and barakat? Singular and plural, yes? Barakah is singular, what we're talking about. Allah didn't say singular. He said barakat, which is the plural form of the word, showing a lot of barakah, subhanAllah. And in Arabic, there's singular. This is turning into an Arabic lesson, subhanAllah. If you missed out all those classes back at school, or you weren't paying attention, alhamdulillah, now we make up for it. There's singular, then there's the muthanna, which is the jewel, and then there's jama', which is 3 plus in Arabic. Plural words are 3 plus. And where does it end? Oh, Arabs, where does it end? It doesn't end. Infinity. Subhanallah. Allah kept it open. Barakat. Blessings upon blessings. And Allah didn't even say barakat in something. He didn't say He'll give you barakat in your knowledge, or barakat in your time, or barakat in your wealth or your health. He kept it open. He didn't restrict it. And this is called nakira. When nakira tufid al-umum. The nakira, when it's not restricted, it indicates broadness. It's general. In other words, Allah Azza wa Jalla will give you barakah in so many things in life. He'll give you barakah in your family, in your time, in your knowledge, in your actions, in your work. Blessings upon blessings. From where? Ya Allah. Allahu Akbar. What an ayah. One ayah. If we only were to contemplate over these amazing ayat in the Quran, wallahi, it'll change our lives. Barakati min as-sama', from the heavens. Did Allah stop there? Wal ard. And the earth. You're surrounded with barakah. It's as if you wanted to avoid barakah, you can't. You're surrounded with barakah, subhanAllah. So if we're having one of those days, every day, then maybe we need to have those two qualities. So this is the second two we said. Two. The first two, barakah means, we said, increase and extension in that blessing. And the second two, if you want barakah, what are the two qualities Allah mentioned in this ayah, Surah Al-A'raf? Iman and taqwa. Iman and taqwa. I'm getting somewhere here. What's the point? When is one of the greatest opportunities to gain iman and taqwa? What time of the year? Ramadan. Ramadan. Best time. What's the proof? Once again, the Quran. Allah says, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu. O you who believe. This is an ayah, the famous ayah of fasting. In other words, among the signs of iman is that a person fasts. Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu. كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم help me out تتقون. Allah says fasting has been prescribed upon you just as it was prescribed upon those before you. In other words, if they did it, you can do it. To give your excuses a black eye. Allah says it's been prescribed upon you. Why? Why do we fast? To lose the gut, to lose the kilos, to lower the blood, cholesterol levels or the blood sugar levels? No. The main goal of Ramadan, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, is to gain taqwa. And that's the point of this lecture. That's why I'm mentioning this. If we want barakah, among the greatest opportunities is Ramadan. It's the month of barakah. And that's why we find in Ramadan, what happens to our iman? It increases. Surely, in the beginning of the month, Allahu Akbar, everyone's on iman steroids. Right? Everyone's coming to the masjid, everyone's pumped, siyam, qiyam, qira'atul Quran. And also, it's a time for taqwa. And what is taqwa now? We'll define this and we'll end with the last two and we'll end there inshallah. What is taqwa? It's important that we understand these definitions in Arabic because the Quran and the Sunnah was revealed in Arabic. Taqwa is commonly translated as what? Ittaqullah, have fear of Allah, yes? Ittaqun nar, fear the fire. However, fear is only part of the meaning. Fear is part of the meaning of taqwa. It's more than this. If we go back to Arabic, the word taqwa came from wiqaya. What's a wiqaya? It's a protective barrier. In other words, to have taqwa is to protect yourself from what? Ittaqun nar, protect yourself from the fire. Ittaqullah, protect yourself from Allah's punishment. So taqwa, think protection. Because a person with fear, and that's another word in Arabic which is khawf, a person with fear doesn't necessarily have taqwa. For example, shaitan. Does shaitan have fear of Allah? Interesting question. Does shaitan have fear of Allah? Yes. He does. Why? How does shaitan have fear of Allah, bro? I was asked this by one of the brothers. Allah said it in the Quran, Surah Al-Hashr, Inni akhafu Allah Rabbal Alameen. Shaitan himself said, I fear Allah. So shaitan has fear of Allah. Person may ask, how does that work? How does shaitan fear Allah? He has fear of Allah but no taqwa. I'll give you the parable of a thief. When a thief robs a bank, for example, doesn't he fear getting caught? True, when he's running away from the cops? Have you ever run away from the cops? Trick question, don't answer, right? When I asked this, during the week, one of the brothers, no, I haven't. So when a criminal's running away, he fears getting caught. But he didn't have taqwa, which was, we said, protection. He would have protected himself from getting in trouble by not robbing the bank to begin with. So he didn't have that taqwa, you see? So likewise, shaitan, and he's the shaykh of all the criminals, basically, he's the emir. So as we said, shaitan has fear but no taqwa. Otherwise he would have protected himself from punishment. So the point is, taqwa is not just fear, but it's part of the meaning, yes. So ittaqun nar, have not just fear of the fire. Because let's just say there was a fire in this building, ma'adallah, in this masjid, ma'adallah. You're just going to sit there and say, I fear the fire, I fear the fire, I fear the fire. No, you're going to do something, yes? In other words, you're going to either try and run away or put it out. So the point is, taqwa is to have fear, yes, as we said, it's part of the meaning, coupled with an action. That is taqwa. That's how you get protection. It's fear coupled with an action. They both go hand in hand. And that's how Ali radiallahu anhu defined taqwa most eloquently when he said, taqwa is al-khawfu min al-jalil. Yes, it's fear from the most majestic, but what did he add after that? Wal-amalu bit-tanzil. It's to act according to the revelation. In other words, he coupled the emotion with action. That is taqwa. That is taqwa. So what's the final two I want to talk about? How do we attain taqwa? By two ways. Two ways. Fulfilling the instructions from the Quran and the Sunnah, and keeping away from the prohibitions. That is it. That is taqwa in a nutshell. To do that which Allah has commanded us to do, and to keep away from that which Allah has forbidden us from. And this is how Ramadan increases you in taqwa. And actually a student asked me this, and when you think about it, it's a quite a smart question. I was asked, Mr. Bizry, how does keeping away from my hamburger, fries and Coke increase me in taqwa? How does that make me a better Muslim in Ramadan? Well, food usually outside of Ramadan, isn't it halal for you? It is. So food outside of Ramadan is halal and permissible. In other words, Allah is training us that if you can keep away from that which is usually halal and permissible, then it's easier to keep away from that which is haram and impermissible. And thus think of Ramadan as an institute, literally. The one who enrolls in this institute or university for 30 days, and with any university, with any course, there are subjects. So the subjects of Ramadan are lowering the gaze 101, watching what you say 102, watching what you listen to 103. Those are the subjects. So the one who enrolls into this university of Ramadan and strives hard to perfect each subject will graduate with a certificate of taqwa. That is valid for 12 months? No. Inshallah, the rest of our lifetimes. Bi-idhnillahi azza wa jal. And I'll end with this final point. The importance of taqwa and Ramadan. Allah azza wa jal said in Surah Al-Baqarah, فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْهُ. Whoever witnesses this month of Ramadan, فَلْيَصُمْهُ, then fast it. This is a command. Fal, this is lamul amr. Allah is commanding us to fast. In other words, fasting is an obligation. I'm sure we all know this. فَلْيَصُمْهُ, Allah is commanding us to fast Ramadan. It's a command. Question: how many times in the Quran did Allah command us to fast in Ramadan? Just once. How many times has Allah commanded us to have taqwa? Over 80 times in the Quran. SubhanAllah, when it comes to Ramadan, the Muslims are pumped, they're psyched, they're excited, they're anxious. They have to fulfill this wajib. Yes, this is a praiseworthy thing. I'm not denying this. This is actually good. But why don't we have the same attitude, the same response when it comes to the order and command of taqwa, which came over 80 times in the Quran? SubhanAllah. And that's the purpose and goal of Ramadan. So we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to enable us to increase in iman and to increase us in taqwa. And by doing so, Allah will give us not just barakah, barakat in all facets of our lives. So we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to increase us in barakah, in our health, our wealth, our time, our families, and all matters up until the final day. Ameen. جزاكم الله خيرا على حسن استماعكم وبارك الله فيكم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.